What is this dude? What is this dude talking about?
Man, let me hit him with the dead leg.
The question is, why did you do that? Why?
We have a fun show for you this week, Commanders fans, as always. This one is all about training camp. It'll be the first NFL training camp for rookie quarterback Jayden Daniels. We'll hear from head coach Dan Quinn on how their second overall pick is adapting to life in the league. And the captain's pulling up to the show, y'all. Guy London Fletcher will be here to talk all things training camp and what he's most excited for. Fellas, it's almost training camp time. Fred, you ready for that conditioning test?
Yeah, I'm ready.
It all starts now.
As the end of the off-season program, in a lot of ways, I see it as just our beginning and what we can be about and what we have. I think over the last 2 weeks, I felt this momentum shift. I'm thrilled with the guys. They've really put in the work. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. Like I felt this tide start to roll with some momentum about the improvement, and I felt like that's why this might be the end of minicamp, man. Like I feel like our foundation is starting, and so like we're about to go for it in a very big way, and it's cool to see the shift take place.
Welcome into Command Center. I am Brian Cole Jr. here with Santana Moss, Fred Smoot, and Sean Springs is back in the building, and just in time, because next week is training camp. Yeah. So y'all have been players. Y'all have been on the cusp of training camp.
Yeah.
What is your mindset during this part of the offseason?
I'm already back in Leesburg. I'm trying to get here at least 4 or 5 days before we have to report, just to make sure that I kind of like tidied up everything that I need to do. So that day I report, I'm free-minded. I'm already ready to take this condition test. I'm just ready to go ahead and rock and roll.
He just brought up the two top words, conditioning test. Me, myself, it's 4 days to go. I'm at home, I'm praying, I'm trying to make sure everything's good. Because the one thing about the conditioning test, you want to pass it in your first go around. Yeah. Because y'all got to realize they put some unbelievable times on these 100-yard runs that most people can't do. Yeah. So when we get out there and we do it, and we see people falling on the wayside, falling, not passing the test, some passing the test. So conditioning test is what I'm thinking right now.
But Santana hit on the first part. You coming into the building, you're getting your locker right. Yeah. Because I think you want to hit the ground. You don't want to have to work what cleats I'm wearing, what tape I got in my locker, what shirts I got, because you know that's the biggest thing during training camp. How prepared you are. You know, what equipment do I need to get through? Because you know, training camp, you're gonna get all type of bruises.
You're gonna get hurt.
But you got to make sure you got the right tights. Because tights could throw you off. The wrong cleats and you get a blister on the back of your heel. Could ruin your training camp. The small things that get you over the hump.
Well, fellas, I know we are all excited about training camp, so we're gonna do a full show just about training camp. But before we do that, let's look at the full training camp schedule. It's time for your can't miss moment presented by FanDuel. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official partner of the Washington Commanders. You can't miss training camp here in Ashburn if you have the chance. Here's a look at the dates we'll be open for you fans to come visit us at Commanders Park here in Ashburn, Virginia. And the guys will be with me. We'll be live out there, fellas.
First of all, football is back.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? New era, new head coach, new owner, new quarterback. I can't wait to see the fans out there for training camp.
I can't wait to see the fans. I can't wait to be with the fellas. And one of the things that I can't wait for is Fred being Fred.
Because we know Fred is going to be Fred. You know what? Since we're talking training camp, let's dive into it. Storylines. We know there's a lot of different threads to follow, especially with this team. What is the storyline you're looking forward to, Fred?
Well, you know, in the offseason, we got a lot of free agents, and we brought them to this team. So when we walk into training camp, these guys are going to walk in as individuals. I want to see them come together during training camp, blood, sweat, and tears, and I want them to walk out of training camp as one organism. That's what we do. The best teams win the championship, not the best individual players.
I think the biggest storyline I'm looking forward to is just seeing how what we saw in the OTAs with the energy. I mean, one of the things that Terry talked about is just coming out there every play and one, you know, the competition level just risen for everyone. So just to see these guys competing, knowing it's going to be training camp, knowing that the stuff is going to be on the line now. Now these practices are very meaningful.
They count.
You're going to be seeing guys out there going at it, trying to make this squad, trying to be that guy that's going to be getting that number called on that first preseason game. The energy is going to probably be through the roof. You know, come to this training camp.
And can they sustain it?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
And you guys talk about it. New team, you need energy. What happens when you go through tough times? Veteran leadership. I think Bobby Wagner, with Coach Joe Witt and what Coach Quinn expect, I think he is one I'm watching, keeping my close eye on him, because that defense is going to need to be up, ready to go. First couple weeks till Jay can get his legs.
Till he get
till
going,
get his legs
they gonna
on.
have to cover
so
for the
the
team.
defense is going to have to make up for it, and I'm looking at Bobby Wagner as a veteran presence on the team for the whole team.
Yeah.
And don't forget about Sam Cosmi when it comes to offense. He'll be one of those mainstay, those guys that's going to be anchoring the offense. Brian Robinson, one of those guys. Terry McLaurin, one of those guys. So when you say veteran leadership, these guys has been through it all.
Yeah.
They've been through some hard times, so hopefully it's good from going forward.
And Sean, that's an excellent point because all three of you guys have been veterans pulling up to Washington. So I'm gonna ask each of y'all the same exact question. Fred, how did you instill your leadership as a veteran? Because not only were you here as a rookie, but you left and then you came back as a veteran.
It was just good to be back home for me. You know what I'm saying? And I had already knew everybody. I didn't have to relearn the roster. I didn't have to relearn the team. London Fletcher was my lead on defense, like Santana lead on. We knew who was doing what. So to me, it was like, okay, you left home, but we got your bed ready. Come on back, the bedroom is ready. But also I knew I was coming with a veteran group, and we had already came short in the playoff, and we wanted to try to get back there.
Yeah. You know, as far as for me, I came in here in year 5 of my career, and to tell you the truth, I felt that those first 4 years in New York, I had actually grew up. You know, I grew up in New York and I graduated, and now I'm a veteran. I get here, I got David Patton, God bless him, there. He was in my room. I had James Strash, and I looked at those guys as veterans. So when it came time to be asking questions or doing anything, I was looking at those guys like, show me the way. And I remember DP told me, they paid you the big bucks. You lead us. And when he told me that, man, I took on that responsibility that how I do things, I'm gonna do it and show everybody how I do it. So I led by example, and I went out there and showed them I'm gonna work hard and I'm gonna go out there and show up on Sundays.
And to piggyback off that, leading by example, as a start on the defense, I had to take Fred Smoot under my wing.
First of all, he wasn't the star.
As a veteran, I knew that there was guys like Fred Smoot that needed my leadership and needed me to really get these guys to show them what it means to be a professional. So I walk in the locker room and I just say, hey man, listen, this is how we got to do things in the meeting rooms. Here how we watch film. Here we do this. We just do it a certain way, and I kind of try to install my professionalism on the rest of the team.
No, I give him this. He was very studious. I don't take that away from Blue. Blue has always been studious. He gonna watch that film. He gonna break it down. We're gonna have those long talks. But the first time we met each other, we had just signed him. He walks in the locker room like, it's a privilege for you to meet me. I'm like, what is this dude? What is this dude talking about? He's like, yeah, man, I'm gonna be the best corner you ever played with. I like, I was just teamed up with Champ Bailey and Darren Green.
Doesn't matter. You need a veteran leadership, son. You need a veteran leadership.
So I was like, no. Like I had to call everybody on the team. Like the team is ruined. We got a mole in the locker room, and it was Blue. Like
it wasn't. Needed some veteran leadership for a young secondary that was real talented.
That's why we came up short.
That's why we came up short. Well, you know what? I don't think we're going to come up short this year because the veterans we brought into this building are incredible. There's a lot of new blood on this roster and some big names, some former Pro Bowlers that fans are excited to see in the burgundy and gold. Bobby Wagner, Austin Eckler, Zach Ertz. Gotta imagine their veteran leadership will be huge for this new young team. Another new face on the roster this year is rookie quarterback Jayden Daniels. The second overall pick in the NFL draft and Heisman Trophy winner from LSU is ready to take the next step and face the challenges defenses in this league will present. That will certainly be a tough task, but the work he's been putting in this summer has head coach Dan Quinn impressed with what he's seen.
He's, if you've been around the building or asked anybody in the building, one of the things that I love about him, he's got this demeanor about the execution, about the confidence. He's got a swagger to him. He really has a very firm handle on the things that we're doing, but he also has the humility of a young player. And so I thought, what a cool combination to have this presence as an older player, but yet the humility of the new and younger player, knowing that he has a lot to prove.
The work that you put in is the work that you're going to, give out. And if you really want to be successful, you want to learn, you want to be a pro at the highest level, you got to take knowledge of people, learn from their routines, what will help them be successful. Obviously, Nick, he was with the Chiefs and what they did over there. So he gets here early, man, and I'm always an early guy. I kind of learned that when I was at LSU, and now I took it here. Still trying to tweak it a little bit, but I still got a long way to go.
Here's a look at the numbers Jayden put up his senior year on his way to winning college football's top individual award. The Heisman winner racked up almost 5,000 all-purpose yards. 3,812 of those were passing. He had 40 touchdowns with just 4 interceptions and had the highest QBR rating in college football. There's a reason excitement is so high for this rookie in the DMV. It's time for your best seat in the house, presented by SeatGeek, your ticket to great Commander seats. Welcoming in the captain, London Fletcher to Command Center. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, man. I'm just happy we got a playmaking defensive back on the show in Sean Springs.
You are welcome. You're welcome, London. I've been here the whole time.
London, speaking of making plays, man, training camp is right around the corner, man. How excited are you for that?
Man, I'm very excited. As you guys know, Santana, Smoot, and Sean, the grass starts to smell a little bit different when as training camp gets a little bit closer. I'm excited to see how these guys come together. Once you get out there and training camp starts, man, it's nothing like the season is on the horizon.
Hey, Sean, Bluefoot.
They look the same.
Let Sean pick it up. Sean pick it up.
No, London, honestly, being serious. You've been in these kind of buildings before when you have a new staff in the house. How soon do you need to see something in training camp to like basically, I guess you can say, show that the team is
moving forward,
gelling, on the same accord?
Well, anytime you got a new staff, obviously getting the system down as quickly as possible going to be key. And they've gone through OTAs, mini camps, and the off-season workouts to kind of, get a kind of your base game plan. But in training camp, this will be the third installation that they're starting to learn these systems, both offensively and defensively. But we also got to look at this. You got a lot of new players that are going to be playing in this system, especially defensively. How quickly can they come together? That's going to be key. Communication on the back end, also in the front end, linebackers working with the new defensive line. That's why I think having a Bobby Wagner is going to be so vital to this defense, because you have a guy who's been in this system. He's a veteran player, and he can help kind of calm everybody down and get them lined up.
In London, that's what I was going to talk about. We talk about that veteran leadership on the team and what's needed. Because with a young quarterback, we talked about how the defense is going to need to start early, fast, and often at the first part of the season to help the young quarterback out. Talk to us more about what that means to have a solid defense with a young quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely. When you talk about a young quarterback, and also not just a great defense, but also a running game. And you don't want to have a guy, especially a young guy, having to feel like he has to go out and be the savior and be the guy that has to win you a bunch of games. You want him to be able to kind of, pick his spots, pick and choose. You want him to make some plays, but you don't want him going into a game feeling like, man, I have to be the best player on this field. I got to take chances to make sure we're, scoring 30 points a game. You lean on your defense, lean on your run game. Collectively, you got a bunch of veteran guys on that defense. You got some playmakers. Keep the scores close, allow the run game. Then you take play action passes and allow him to take some shots down the field.
Well, London, you and Bobby Wagner kind of like got to this team in almost the same situation. You had already established yourself as one of the best in the league. When we came together, Greg Williams was new. All of us was coming together new. So we had individuals. We had LeVar Arrington. We had a Sean Springs. We had these guys, but we wasn't a team yet. And it took a couple of weeks to kind of come together. How long do you think it'll take this team to come together? Not just defensively, but offensively too.
Yeah, just speaking and thinking about my experience when I came to Washington, it was myself and LaRon and just a couple other, new guys to the defense. And they were bringing me in there to be a leader of that defense. And it took me probably, I would say, 5 or 6 weeks into the season where I truly felt like I had built enough of a relationship with you guys to really, know how to talk to you, know how to push your buttons, know how to, when to kind of massage you. And when I say massage the relationship and say, hey, I need a little bit more from you, Sean. I need a little bit more from you, Smoot. You guys, I don't know if you all remember when me and Sean Taylor got into an argument.
Yeah, I do.
And it was Sean Springs. Yeah. Me and him, you got two alpha males. We get into an argument in practice. I wasn't going to back down. He wasn't going to back down. And it took Bluefoot to kind of be like, man, London, just let it go, because I was like, man, I'm hot. And the way Sean kind of, you know, he was a veteran to me. So the way Sean came to me was like, Sean Springs was like, London, just let it go, just calm down. And his voice kind of like put me in a place where, okay, all right, this not the time. We'll revisit this another day. And then the next day, Sean and I worked it out. Sean Taylor and I worked it out. But it takes a couple weeks.
Now, with that being said, I got one more question for you, London. We know how the preseason is, and we saw last year that we had so much weight on those games and us winning those games, and it didn't translate over to the season. Now, I remember a year when we had, you know, a new young quarterback in RG3 in 2012, and it seemed like those preseason games was very meaningful because we ended up taking that same energy and going over into the regular season with it. Do you believe that these preseason games this year with, you know, the young quarterback, this new staff, this new team, do it carry that kind of weight too? Do it matter that they win them or not? Or is it just something that you want to see these guys progress each and every game in the preseason, and whether they win or lose, you're going to be all right with that?
Well, the thing that I've always said about the preseason, they don't count, but they matter. Yeah. So, you know, from a win-loss standpoint, they don't count in that record from that standpoint, but they matter because it matters how much growth you're seeing from Jaden in week 1 of the preseason to week 3 of the preseason. And for him, you know, they'll probably play him more than your normal kind of starting quarterback because he's a rookie, because you got so many guys playing together in a new offensive system. So you'll probably see him take a lot more snaps than your typical starting quarterback would, because you have to get him acclimated to the National Football League as quickly as possible. And knowing that we're going on the road week 1 down to Tampa Bay, you want to give him as much game experience as you possibly can to get him ready for week 1 in Tampa Bay.
London, we always appreciate you pulling up on us, man. It's always a good time. Before I let you go, I woke up this morning, man, I opened up Twitter, and I saw a highlight of London Fletcher, the captain himself, going viral, man. So what I want to do is we want to show you this play right here. Look at the big man London Fletcher picking off Kurt Warner.
Oh, yeah. Let me get this.
You see the little cut?
Now watch slipped in the grocery store.
Hey, but what y'all don't see, I changed hands. That ball left, right, left. Man, I'm hitting it with the dead leg.
The question is, why did you do that? Why?
Why did I switch hands?
No, why did you dive in the end zone? Sean said you could have just walked in there.
No,
you didn't dive on Sean back.
You heard Sean back,
Listen,
man.
Do you think this video would be just better with the dive or if I just walk in the end zone?
With the dive. I love the dive.
Hey, you right, London, but you had the hang time of a snail. Then you got 2 inches off the ground.
Hey, I was crowd surfing, man. Look at that, man. You ain't see the dead leg, though.
Yes, Lord.
Watch how high he get.
Hey, London, you know what teammate blocked for you. Smoot didn't block at all. He's nowhere to be found.
Hey, Blue, Smoot wasn't even on the field, man.
I was on the field. I was behind y'all on the right side. I was just over there chillaxing, baby. You know they ain't throw much over there.
Pure athleticism from the captain. That's what makes you who you are, London Fletcher. I love seeing you dive when nobody else is around you but your own teammates, man. We gotta love that, London. Thank you so much for your time, bro. And we will see you here at training camp. Now, Big Fletch will be a big part of our Command Center camp coverage live shows. Our first show is on Wednesday, July 24th. So if you can't make it to Ashburn to watch training camp in person, which we hope you do, at least join us for the next best thing. We will be streaming from X, YouTube, and Facebook. That's Wednesday, July 24th. Make sure you wake up with the Command Center crew. Fellas, you know we like to end the show with some fun, and we know we're talking training camp.
Yep.
Y'all had the pleasure of doing training camp a few times with this
us.
brother right here. The honor of doing training camp with Fred Smoot. So what we did, we asked Fred Smoot some questions about training camp.
Okay.
We want y'all two to work together to see if y'all know the answer to these questions.
All right, let's
Got
do
it?
it.
All right, cool. This is the first question right here that we asked Fred.
See, do my friends really know me?
What was your favorite thing about training camp? Now remember, Fred answered this already. Y'all try to match his answer.
If I had to guess, I would say Fred's a showman. He loved the people who showed up to training.
He was a guy that wanted to kind of like intertwine with everybody.
It's
you know
the
what
crowd.
I mean?
He loved the
being
crowd.
amongst the
Fred, you got something. They know you, Fred. So far, so good.
This boy knows it.
All right, next one. What was your least favorite thing about training camp? What was Fred's least favorite thing?
If I had to say, which I do,
Fred like to practice. I think it might be the least favorite
His
thing.
least
Might be
favorite
the
thing.
curfew.
he hates being restricted.
That's not a bad one right there.
But it's not the right one.
The real two-a-days. Not the two-a-days that they doing now.
Yeah.
The
Nah.
real
Yeah,
two-a-days.
So what about this made you be like, this is my least favorite?
Because we had 32 straight plays,
I can
Coach
say,
Gibbs.
Coach Gibbs, I love him to death, but he will work you.
Right,
And
yeah, he
guess
did
what?
that.
First team versus first team.
Oh.
Like he said, we're going 32 plays straight. And we're going to do that first practice. We're going to do it the second practice.
All right, so you guys are 1 for 1.
All right.
Got one right, got one wrong. Who went too hard
Oh.
during training camp?
If I had, which I do, I would say Big Mike Barbecue, him or Rock Gotti. It's one of them two.
Went too hard.
Big Mike.
You're not thinking. I don't
London-
go
London
against
flex.
Rock Gotti or Mark Mike
so
Sells.
on the offensive side,
Yes.
y'all got to be more specific.
Yes.
Offensive
But,
side.
yeah.
And who just worked? Blue, you know who I'm talking about because I told you many times.
James
he's a-
Thrash.
James Thrash.
Very James Thrash-like. Let's say James Thrash-like, who I told you he's a star at practice. I never figured out why it didn't work.
I know. From Florida.
Yes.
Florida Gator.
Gator.
Right receiver. Taylor J.
Yes.
Taylor J.
I mean, you guys got a lot of hits, but y'all finally got it right. Taylor J. We're going to give y'all that one. We're going to give y'all that one.
Got to.
This is the last one and the one I think exemplifies Fred more than anything.
Yeah.
Who did you talk trash to the most during training camp?
Oh, CP. Easy, probably. Because CP would get under his nerve because
I would say-
Clinton talked the most trash.
Depending on what years, Jason Campbell might be one of those guys.
Jason Campbell for sure.
long list of people.
But CP got on his nerves because CP would always
All right,
talk
I'm going to give y'all one hint.
Give me
Give me
a
one
hint.
hint.
It's not a player.
Might be the training guy. The
John Burrell.
John Burrell.
Special answer?
I want to talk trash to the brainchild. Right? The one that's attacking.
Man, he didn't care who he talked trash to. He talked trash to the damn people that were helping us out.
That one was a trick question. Fred, how you feel about how these guys
You know
help
what?
you, man?
My teammates know me. They know how I act. They know what I like. They understand I love to practice, so that wouldn't be the thing. They understand who I am. You gotta like that. That's why when people say they ask us after we retire, what do we miss? We miss the locker room. We miss teammates.
Oh man, and we love that. And we love when you guys can share y'all stories with us. Commanders family, we will see y'all Wednesday at training camp. We out.